Sammy from Sammy's Sweet Life, and today we are talking about cheap pens. I got these all off of AliExpress, and only one of them is supposed to be an authentic pen. I am not 100% sure that it is a completely authentic pen, but I did pay top dollar for that one, and it looked authentic. I could not tell the difference. I compared it to my other TWSBIs, and I also compared the box. The box looked identical, so I think it is a legit pen, but I still 100% can't guarantee that it is. And that is this, the Hot Pink TWSBI Eco. I compared it side by side. It looks just exactly the same as my other Eco. I have the T right here, which is the triangular one. Eco T is the triangular. I don't have my other one in here. I've got an Amazonite TWSBI that is the hexagonal. This one's the T with the triangle shape. Also on the cap, a little bit different, but like the logoing looks the same, that metal looks the same, the box looked the same, the label on the box looked the same, everything about it functions exactly the same. So I'm calling it legit. I just wanted the color, the hot pink. It's just so pretty. I hope they keep coming out with more pink ones. There's also a pastel pink, and I've seen it on eBay. So I may end up with that one at some point, but it's super expensive because it comes with a bottle of ink. Whereas this one I could just purchase, and this one was $49, which is in line with some of the other TWSBIs, like the rose gold TWSBIs and things. So I didn't feel bad paying for it, but it looks legit. If it's not legit, they really got me fooled because it looks identical, aside from the shape, which it looks like the actual Ecos, not the Eco T. But man, it fooled me. So that one I think is an authentic pen. The rest of them, however, are complete dupes. They're like, the most expensive one I got was like $8. The other ones were like $1 up to like maybe $5, but most of them were super duper cheap. And I have tested out some of these and not others, and I've had one issue with one of the pens. The rest of them have written just fine. Now, the caveat to this is all of the ones that I found on AliExpress that I was interested in are fines or extra fines. So that's totally new for me. I like the medium nibs. This one happens to be a fine nib and it works just fine. And the other ones work just fine except one. This one I cannot get to write for the life of me. I've tried multiple different things and I cannot get it to write. This one is called Jinhao, and it looks just like a Lamy pretty much. Let's see, here's an actual Lamy. It looks pretty much like it. I know it's called Lamy, but I call it Lamy because my daughters have a stuffed animal named Lamy. But it looks pretty legit. I mean, it's not identical. There's definitely things about it. And this is aluminum versus this one's cheapy plastic, but this one did not write to save my life. Now, I have other Lamy dupes that are pretty dang close, but again, they're like plastic. They definitely feel way cheaper than this one. This one feels really nice, but I mean, you're talking like $1 pen or a $2 pen versus a $30 pen. It's a big difference in quality and price. So I can live with it feeling a little cheap for like $1, you know? So I did end up with all of these very similar ones. This is a Jinhao. This one is Yiren, Y-I-R-E-N. Jinhao, which there are some Jinhao dupes on Amazon as well. This is also a Jinhao. It's a Vanishing Point dupe. It is a little bit different, which I'll talk about. But Jinhao and Yiren, Y-I-R-E-N, are the two I got that are Lamy dupes. All of these have worked just fine, except this one with a different clasp. I don't have all of these filled up. I don't know which one is filled up, actually. I know this one's filled up. I'm not sure I filled up these guys. But they're pretty spot on for dupes, and they work fine. They're just plasticky, and I love these. Look at those. They're so pretty. They're different ombre looks, and I've been using this one a lot, and the ink is, I don't know, about halfway down in the barrel here. So I've used it quite a bit. Like, there's where the ink level is, and I've used it. It is a shimmery ink. It's had no problems, but look, it also has the rainbow titanium oxide nib. Oops, I wrote it myself. I just changed out pens too. I've got ink on me. So yeah, I really like it. It's worked great. It just feels cheap and plasticky. That's like the main difference. The price point is different and it feels cheap and plasticky versus my Lamy All-Star is just so nice, sleek. But I did notice the paint is peeling off a little bit, which is unfortunate. So I've got a few little scrapes and things on there, but it works great. The dupe from Yiren, Y-I-R-E-N, works great. The only one I've had trouble with is this one. And it's a Jinhao, like just like these ones are Jinhaos. So I don't know. I don't know why that one's different versus the other ones, but for $1 or $1.50 or $2 at the most, I couldn't care less. You know, it's like, it's a throwaway pen, that's fine. I know it's not the most eco-friendly thing when you buy something for $2, you know, something's not right there. Like, it doesn't add up, or else, you know, these are being made for $2 and sold for $30, and then the markup on that's ridiculous. But I thought I would try out some of these dupes because I know people have used AliExpress and tried them out, and so far, so good. Now, I have a couple of dupes from them that they look like the Eco Teas, and I mean, they look pretty spot on, except they're different brands. So this is Lanbitou, Lanbitou. I mean, it looks pretty close. It's not exactly, like, the clip's different. The logoing is definitely different. They do put the, you know, the knockoff brand name on there. We have stuff right here on the barrel. It definitely doesn't give, like, counterfeit vibes, like they're trying to pass it off as an actual authentic TWSBI. They're just different, you know, a different brand's version of the same thing, basically. But yeah, I've used one, it's worked great. Even with the shimmer in there, it's great. And so I don't know why I ended up with two of this exact one, which I thought I got different colors of everything, but I did end up with two of the same light pink option. Now these ones remind me more of a narwhal demonstrator. That was like the closest thing I felt like to this one, or I don't know, maybe even the Diamond 580 or similar, you know? They just have that different look to them, and I really like the way these ones look. They're like the frosted metallic. These ones were a little bit pricier than some of these really cheap plasticky ones, but maybe like $5. They weren't super expensive either. And this is the only one I filled up so far, and it works great. No complaints whatsoever. I've got it filled up, and I've used it a little bit, but yeah, it's been great. So I will end up filling up the other two. I'm just like, what I was trying to do, I've had these for like 3 weeks or so. I've been trying to use them quite a bit to make sure that it's something that I could share with you guys and give you guys a really good opinion on, not just like show you guys, hey guys, I got these cheap pens. If none of them work, it's useless to show them to you guys, but everything has worked except this pink one. So I've been really happy with the results. Now I haven't filled up every single one, but I filled up one model of the exact same one, and then one model of the exact same one, and then a model of the exact same type. So I feel like I've given you guys a relatively thorough review of the different kinds of these. Now, I don't know what brand these are. They don't say anything on them, so I will make sure to look on my receipt and show them to you guys. And now the last one I'm going to review, I actually almost got this one off Amazon, but I realized AliExpress had it for much cheaper. This is the Jinhao that's very similar to the Vanishing Point, which is a click fountain pen, which is awesome. Now, when I received this, first of all, I am not interested in the actual Vanishing Point at all. It is a very expensive pen. I have not spent over $100 on a pen, and I never intend to spend over $100 on a pen. I've been close once. I got the TWSBI Diamond 580 Iris, and it was like $84. And that's like my perfect, most beautiful pen. It's the rainbow titanium oxide pen. It's gorgeous. I was willing to spend that kind of money for like my unicorn gorgeous, most beautiful pen that I've ever seen kind of thing. For something like this, I'm not going to do it. You know, I'm not going to do it just to have that clicky action. There are things I do not like about the look and feel of this type of pen in the first place. I thought the tiny nib looked ridiculous. Like the clicky and the tiny nib looked ridiculous. I just hate. I've written about this multiple times when I'm like reviewing my stuff, like getting my thoughts out and planning these kind of videos out. I hate this. What in the world? Like every other clicky pen that I have ever owned, it's able to put the clip where the clicky mechanism is. Why does it have to be down here? That like, it's so awkward to like hold around it. I've gotten used to it. I can still write with it, but it looks so dumb. Like it looks dumb. I don't know why they do that. And that's the Vanishing Point. It does that. So the other ones copy that same look. I hate it. I wish they didn't do that, and I'm very tempted, and I may end up ripping that thing off. It's just so dumb. I think it looks stupid. I don't like the look at it at all. I get really ragey. This is one of those things where I'm like, I gotta talk myself down because I get so worked up about it. It looks dumb. It feels dumb. There's no reason it can't be up here. I just don't get it at all whatsoever. It was a stupid design choice, and it looks stupid, and whoever did it should be fired because it looks dumb, and I hate it. I just absolutely hate it. Like, make this metal part a little bit longer. Like, here's the metal part. Make it longer so you could stick that clip on the normal side of the pen. Every other flippin' pen that's a clicky pen has the clip over on this side. Anyway, I hate that. I just hate it. Now, as far as the writability, it writes great. I can't complain about it at all. And this one does not have the cover where the Vanishing Point covers up the nib. You can see like there's no little flapper that covers it up. It doesn't make it airtight. It's not airtight whatsoever. And I have given this one a full-on test because I'm like, does the ink dry out? Does it give you a hard start? What's the deal? And every time I've used it, it's been fine. Now I just cleaned it out and filled it up, so it may not work the best right at this exact moment, but we're gonna test it on some scrap paper I have. I made some little Valentines. So let's just test it out and see. Nope, still works, still writes. There's still ink coming out. It was hard to clean. That would be my only like real complaint. You see like there's a teeny bit of pink still on the nib, and there's actually a green ink I put in here. But I washed this pen so long and I still ended up, even when I thought the water was running clear, it still ended up with some ink in it. So that would be my only complaint. It was hard to clean, and then the look of it just looks dumb with that clip. If you turn it to this side, it looks fine. Like, just leave the clip off. If you can't get the clip on the normal side of the pen, leave it off. That's my whole thought. I just think it's ugly. Now, the Jinhao listing on Amazon did not include this pinkish color, but the AliExpress one did. So I did end up with a color I really, really, really liked. It's a pink pearly, like very light pale pink. So the color looks good. The clicking mechanism works great. I haven't had any issue with the ink drying, and this is the second ink I've put in here, and I have left it for like up to a week, and I've still been able to write with it. Now, the way this one is on the inside, it is an ink cartridge converter, but it has a very interesting look to the nib. And there is some pink on there, right there. I don't know if that was the pink that was like leaking out, but I tried to clean this pen so many times and it still has pink on it. So it is trickier to clean than the other pens. I'm getting some of that pink off. I've ran this under the water. I've done all the techniques trying to clean it, and I still, like the previous color I had in there was a very dark pink, and I put army green in there, and it's just mixing together at this point. But it's interesting how this works in the pen. You see the little notch here. There's a little notch here, and you have to line it up just right because you don't want this rotating since it is a clicky pen. It's got to be able to click, and that keeps the whole thing in place, which is awesome. So it is really nice to have that clicking functionality. It's just a little bit awkward to write with it to start, but then you get used to the clip being there, so it's not a big deal. And also, the teeny tiny nib doesn't bother me as much as I thought it would. When I first got it, it's like, wow, like I don't know how I'm gonna write with this with the teeny tiny nib and the big giant clip in the way. It's been fine. So I would say, aside from like the clip annoyance, I think it's one of the cooler pens that I do have. Like, just to be able to use it like a regular old pen, click, don't have to worry about tapping it or anything. Whereas sometimes, like, I'm writing in my gaming journal about whatever I'm doing and I'm having to reopen my pen a bunch. I have my Amazonite with my gaming planner, and I'm like unscrewing it, writing 2 words, screwing it back, and then 5 minutes later, unscrewing it, screwing it back, just to write a couple of things down. So it is kind of annoying if you're wanting a pen that you can write with really quickly. This totally fits that bill. I can click and unclick this one super fast, write my 2 little things, click it back. So I do plan on putting this one actually with my gaming planner, because that's the one I'm going to be needing the pen on and off the most. I'm writing down goal things, I'm writing down different flower mixing things, I'm writing down Squishmallow things that sell, and like if somebody's buying things pretty rapid fire from my stand, I'm writing, you know, every so many seconds, and uncapping and capping is annoying in that way. So it does help to have it be a more normal pen. So of all the dupe type pens I got, all of them have worked fine aside from that one Lamy dupe, but I really surprisingly like this one a whole lot more than I expected to like it. I thought the clip would be a total deal breaker for me, but it's just an annoyance. It just looks dumb. It doesn't bother my writing at all. It just feels a little bit different, but you get used to it, so it's not that big of a hindrance or a deal breaker at all. And I thought it would be. That's one of the reasons I'm like, there is no way I'm ever reviewing a Vanishing Point, because it's, you know, above $100 pen, which is a deal breaker for me. But also I thought the clip was going to be a huge deal breaker. But I've definitely heard great things about the Vanishing Point. But the Jinhao is such a cheaper option. Even if you purchase straight from Amazon and you don't go AliExpress, it's like an $18 pen, which is awesome. And this one was even cheaper. This one was, I want to say, like $10-ish, maybe $12. But yeah, so nice. and I'm surprised. I'm surprised I liked it as much as I did end up liking it. But the other ones, they're great. They're great cheap options if you want to have just more pen options in your collection. I like the idea of being able to use a lot more colors because I'm constantly writing a journal multiple times a day. I like having a lot of color options so I can just grab a different pen, have a different color where I'm not limited to like 4 different colors now. I've got the really cheap Ferris wheel press carousel pens. These range from $15 to about $22 depending on where you purchase them from. So they're a good, like, cheaper price point pen, but these are like super ultra cheap price point pens. So if you want a lot of pens to have a lot of colors and you're okay with knockoff pens, it's a totally great option to go to AliExpress or even just Amazon and type in Jinhao and see what pens they have. Now, I will say one of my first experiences with cheap fountain pens, I had 2 actually really cheap first ones. They were a Jinhao pen and it was a dupe of, oh gosh, I cannot remember. I'm totally blanking on the pen. I think it was another Pilot dupe, but it did not work for me at all. And it was scratchy nib. I didn't like it at all. So again, like this is a Jinhao, this is a Jinhao. I haven't had trouble with very many pens except one Jinhao from Amazon and this Jinhao. So it's just take with that what you will. They may not all be great. I think the nib has been inconsistent here and there, but so far most of my pens have been really good. And at the price point they are, if you get a dud every once in a while, that's okay too. It's annoying, but it's not a deal breaker completely. And then I had one other issue with a pen, and it was a Preppy, a Platinum Preppy. So it's like a $6 fountain pen, and it ended up cracking around the plastic, like where you turn the pen. It ended up cracking on this side, so I couldn't keep the pen tight, and it would always be weird. So I did end up tossing that one and the other super cheap Jinhao that I got, and it looks very much like one of the other pens that people go crazy over, but I think they're kind of ugly. So I'll show you up on the screen and like list whatever dupe it's duping for. But yeah, that's totally not my style of pen at all. I think they're ugly. It is this one, the Jinhao 82. I saw a lot of people recommend this one when I was asking for pens that were cheap, and people have really good luck with them. I did not, so I won't purchase any more. I also think they're kind of ugly. I'm not a huge fan of the Sailor Pro Gear or any of the pens that look similar to that. I just could not get this one to write very consistently, so I eventually just gave up and got a different pen. It is my first fountain pen. It was not a great experience, so I'm glad I tried something else and really got hooked. I like this more like your normal style of looking pen. They still look like fountain pens because they're nice and thick, but I like this style of pen where they still look like normal pens. And this one, you know, it looks kind of weird, but I've gotten used to it. But I don't love the look of those other ones. Oh, it's a Sailor Pro Gear. There we go. I'm totally brain farting. The Sailor Pro Gear. The Jinhao that I first originally purchased was a Sailor Pro Gear dupe, and I don't like the look of the Sailor Pro Gears at all whatsoever. I know people go gaga over them. They come out with new colors and people go ape crazy. Not interested at all whatsoever. I love the look of the Lamys, or Lamys. These. I love the look of these ones, except the clip is kind of useless. I don't love that they stick out at all. And I love the look of the TWSBIs. And I also love the look of the narwhals, and I did pre-order the winter edition, and I got one other one, and that order has not shipped yet. I really love the look of these narwhal demonstrators. They're the originals, or the original pluses. I don't know which, but I think they look pretty. So this is the rose gold I got from Galen Leather, which is an exclusive one from Galen Leather. And yeah, otherwise, I'm just trying out my cheap dupes, and I'm excited to be able to share with you guys that I've had really good results. This is not a cheap dupe. This one's a cheap dupe. This one's not either. And yeah, I got my hot pink from there too, which, you know, it was still 50 bucks. It was still expensive, but I finally got one of the pink TWSBIs, which I'm so excited about. This one I've just loved using. I put a pink color in there as well. And yeah, love, love, love that hot pink. It's like the perfect shade of bright pink for me. Love it. And yeah, there you go. There is my look at all the cheapies I got from AliExpress. I would definitely recommend it if you're in the market for some cheapie pens, or if you want the Jinhao, which is the Vanishing Point dupe. It's a great dupe for that. And there you go. There is my little mini review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Be sure to like and subscribe and follow me along. All the same normal things. And I will catch you guys next time. Have a great day. Bye.